on Twitter. So,
I am selfish.
Paris, it was great having you on the show. Enjoy the rest of Easter, and we'll definitely talk to you soon.
All right, thank you, guys.
All right, take care.
Have a good one, Paris.
All right, thank you, bye.
The following announcement has been paid for by the New World Order.
Friday, April 17th, 2015, join CTW Charity Wrestling as they present Fight Cystic Fibrosis live from the Days Inn Bridgewater on Route 22 East in Bridgewater, New Jersey. 100% of the proceeds from this event will go directly to the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation as we help find a cure for cystic fibrosis. See WWE Hall of Famers Tito Santana and Superfly Jimmy Snuka, as well as former ECW champion Rhino, the Bad Boy Joey Janela, Too Hot Steve Scott, the Garden State Gods, Steve Monster Mac, and the return of Arcadia. Tickets are available by visiting CharityWrestling.com. That's CharityWrestling.com. Join us Friday, April 17th at the Days Inn in Bridgewater, New Jersey for CTW Charity Wrestling Fight Cystic Fibrosis.
Hello, ladies. The Big Valboski here, and you're listening to Damage 365 Radio.
The following announcement has been paid for by the New World Order.
And we're back, ladies and gentlemen, and we'd like to thank again Paris Kelly for giving us a call and co-hosting the beginning of the show with us. At this time, we'd like to welcome in our second guest of our EastOver show, Epic Annie. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
So how do we get the name Epic? Like, what makes you like Epic Annie?
Well, I do epic things. I go by a few different names. I'm actually getting my first shirt made. It's the Epic Annie logo. But I started out as Annie Richards, which was kind of a joke because my last name was Richardson, and Ann is my middle name, so we went with Annie Richards, which is kind of a play on Davy Richards.
Right.
So, yeah, and then after I got married, and since I've been calling my husband anyways, I dropped the Richards and went to Wraith, which is his last name, his ring name.
But your Twitter name is still Annie Richards.
I tried to change it. I'm not great at the Twitter. I'm better at Instagram. I tried to change it. I couldn't figure it out though.
What is going on with people that don't know how to use Twitter? I feel like Twitter is like the easiest social networking thing ever, unless you forget your password.
I don't get it. I feel like when I'm on Twitter, I'm supposed to be like broadcasting like the news or something. I don't know if that's just because of the people I follow. I'm like, I have to like be doing something super active to be on Twitter. I don't know.
I don't even use Twitter, so.
Twitter is usually very entertaining at night because like all the celebrities usually come out of their little holes and they start tweeting like pictures and links and like just really comical stuff that you're able to see that they are human beings, they're real people. Wow, look at that. But Twitter's so easy. The only thing it's a hard time being able to say what you want to say under a certain amount of characters, and then you start using, like, as I call it, like texting ebonics, and you start using words that sound or look like it, but it's not really proper. But hey, you gotta do whatever you gotta do.
I use it, and like I do it kind of lazily. Like if I'm posting something on Instagram, I just share it on Facebook and Twitter, and I'm like, that should be good enough.
All right, so we're 0 for 2. We're 0 for 2 with people who like Twitter, Nick. So and then Nick doesn't even know what Twitter is.
I just don't use it. I use everything but Twitter.
See, I don't know. Twitter's good. Like it's good if you have when we reposted that you were coming on the show. So we reposted it to you. You retweeted it. You put it as a favorite. So like all your fans got to see it. That part of it's cool. That I understand. Facebook is more sociable because you just can share so much more. But at the same time, Facebook could get you in trouble just for that same reason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So all I know is I'm glad I don't have any children, and I'm not 17 anymore. Let's put it that way. So, because Facebook can get you in some it's worse than MySpace.
Oh, yeah.
God.
Because then everybody gets on it, and parents really, they just don't really know how to use it.
And everybody looks good on Facebook because everybody takes headshots.
Of course, yeah.
Headshot. Everybody takes selfies. Everything's a selfie.
Then when you get tagged in those photos, you just don't want to be tagged in. That's another story.
Yeah, as soon as that happens, I usually delete that person because I'm like, all right, I'm not here to advertise your makeup or your shoes or whatever else you're trying to panhandle. But
I just add everybody because I figured they were a fan, and then I'm like, oh, they're doing jewelry and stuff, and I'm like trying to untag stuff and like unfollow people. It's a process.
And the Facebook app on the phone sometimes makes it very difficult, so you usually have to wait till you get home.
Yeah.
So it's a pain. Nick uses Facebook, right? Nick, now you're a little bit more modern.
Yeah, I do use Facebook. It's the easier of all of social network to use, for me at least.
Yeah, we have an Instagram account too, so but that's pretty much all. It's all wrestling related. We don't put any personal stuff on there.
Yeah.
I don't want to see pictures of Nick shaving his beard and selling hats.
Listen, I still have a nice beard going, and it will never fully go away, ever.
Mine's gone. Everything's gone. Mustache, beard, that's it. It's all gone. I started over again. Brand new coat.
Well, that's good. Fresh start's good. I just cut all my hair off, but I'm not posting anything until Saturday. The big reveal.
Oh, no. We have to... Is it going to be on Instagram?
Yep.
We have to stay tuned for Instagram. Okay, so how did Epic Annie, or Annie Richards, or the original Annie that started, how did she get into wrestling? What made you decide you wanted to be a wrestler?
Well, it's kind of a long story, as I'm sure most people should. So it started when I was 12. There was the amateur style wrestling that they have at school, like they have a wrestling team, and I wanted to do something physical, whether it was wrestling or boxing or whatever. Like I wanted to do something physical, so I auditioned or tried out for the wrestling team, and it was me and 2 other girls, and then the rest were all guys, and I was like, yeah, I really like doing this. And my mom, on the other hand, was not a fan, would not sign the physical. So I was just training with the boys. I was like, oh, yeah, I'm staying after school to do homework. But no, that wasn't the case. So I was just training with the boys, and that's when I met my friend Josh. And he kind of got me into it a little bit. He was telling me that his dad did, these local shows. And I was like, oh, okay, I'm going to have to go to one of those sometime. So, time passed. And eventually I went to one of these local shows. It was a Pinnacle show. I think it was, it ended up being my freshman year in high school. And I was like, this is awesome. When I turn 18, I want to do this. So I went to a few shows, a few more shows here and there. Went to one, it was the month I turned 18. Tracked down one of the face, the woman's, there was one woman's match, and I was like, I'll track down the face because obviously she's more approachable. So then I, talked to her, and then Sunny Days. And then later, Lila Lodge gives me a call. And, if you want to meet me and get me started in training. So I was in one training session, and then they threw me in a battle royal the next month. And I was like, oh, so that's not what I expected. I was like, I'm going to have to train 2 years because that's what you should do. And then I went to another one of their shows a month later thinking that I was just going to watch and be in the audience. And she was like, oh, no, we can't have you do that. So she introduced me to this guy who I valeted, and 5 years later became my husband. So,
wow.
Yeah.
Look at that. A happy relationship story in the wrestling business.
I know, you don't hear that too often.
No, you usually don't. Usually it's the extreme opposite.
Yeah, exactly.
We've heard numerous on this show of bad wrestling relationships. But,
luckily, I just stuck with the one, and it worked out. Luckily, but yeah. So I was watching wrestling here and there and stuff, and then obviously started watching WWE more regularly, like in high school and stuff. So.
Now, goal-wise, do you feel like your goal is to get to WWE or NXT or TNA, or are you happy on the independent circuit?
I mean, absolutely, my goal is, WWE. That should be, I feel like, the aspect that we're starting out, like, usually that'd be the goal. For me, absolutely. My husband and I are looking to move. We're just kind of trying to figure out what the best route is. We were thinking Philly for a while, but now we're kind of thinking we might just go straight to Florida. We want to get in WWE, realize that we'd have to, go through NXT or whatever first. But I've been talking to the Dudleys because I was like, okay, well, there's got to be a school out there. So I've been talking to them, and they said that, there's good opportunities for work out there as well. Because right now my husband and I both work in a gym. And so they kind of have, like, connections helping us out a little bit. But the goal now is that we kind of just want to go straight to Florida because I feel like I love ROH and I love the wrestlers and I respect them. But I'm just not quite sure that's the path for us. But we're still kind of figuring things out. So either way.
Okay. What do you got coming up, soon, as far as like wrestling cards, like where are you gonna be, and is there any title matches in your future?
That's another thing about wrestling around here for me. There isn't a ton of opportunity, mostly because I'm really focused on work just to get the money so that we can move to either Florida or Philly. Right now I'm mostly valeting, but I do have some matches here and there at TMPW and SCW. Mm-hmm. I might have a match at SCW. Like, we're gonna be at the show, and I'm always gonna valet, and then I kind of find out if I have a match or not the day of, or a couple days before. So I'm not really sure. But I'm doing this really big build-up kind of promotional thing because I did just hack all my hair off. So that's gonna be revealed on Saturday.
All right, we'll have to definitely look out for that. And Nick, you have any questions?
Getting into the wrestling business like you did and just getting thrown into a valet job with your now husband, and you just slowly got into wrestling. What wrestlers or female wrestlers did you really start being attracted to and really like how they performed?
Well, my favorite women's wrestlers, well, obviously all of them, just because they all earn their spot in some respect. But, it's kind of a stereotype, but Lita and Trish Stratus are really who I look up to. And after seeing this past WrestleMania and seeing Ronda Rousey's appearance, that was a huge pop. And I'm like, man, what do I got to do to get a pop like that? Because I feel bad in this whole, give Divas a chance thing. It's a real issue. Because a lot of people, we do have some great divas right now, but I feel like there's a lot of people that are like, oh, it's a divas match, time for a bathroom break. And I'm like, no. That's not how it is. So I'm like, what do I got to do to get on that level? But I was actually just talking to my husband about, the very first match I remember seeing. And as a kid in high school, I was going through a lot of kind of personal issues that made me kind of a little goth kid. I would just sit down and write my poetry, anything that was dark and mysterious, I was all about it. So growing up, my favorite wrestler was The Undertaker. And the first match I remember seeing was the Great American Bash in 2004, him versus the Dudleys. And when they did when Paul Bearer was in the box and he got the cement poured on him, yeah. I thought that was real. I was like, they are killing a man on live television right now. Why aren't they stopping this? I was freaking out. So I'm like, that match is the one that will always stick with me as a child, and that definitely kind of made me interested in it. And then, so that was around the same time I was getting into amateur wrestling, and when I met Josh and realized that the style of wrestling he was talking about wasn't what was going on in school. And it was kind of like a South Park episode where, they go into amateur wrestling and they're thinking it's going to be, on TV kind of style wrestling. They're like, what's this? It's oh, this is something completely different, but I'll do it, I guess. So, but yeah, it's definitely, Lita and Trish Stratus are two very big inspirations of mine. And I love Paige. I love Sasha Banks. I love their athleticism, and I feel like the Divas division is definitely getting way more